We've all done it. Liar. You have to. Yo-yo dieting. Um, yeah. So if you're a type 2 diabetic and you're doing yo-yo dieting, it's really, really bad for your diabetes. But why is that? Right? Because it makes sense, right? What is yo-yo dieting? Okay, we'll do an explanation of that first. Definition is a cycle of losing and regaining weight repeatedly due to restrictive dieting and returning to old habits. In layman's term, eating weird for a while so you lose weight and then eating like you used to and putting the weight back on. Yo-yo, that's yo-yo dieting, right? And we've all done it. I've done it, you've done it, everyone's done it, right? Unless, you for some reason have never had a diet and you're one of those people who's always been skinny and for some reason you still have type 2 diabetes and you're in a small group, but I don't know what to tell you there. But most of us, right? Yeah. Most, what is it, 90% of type 2 diabetics are obese. So, yeah, usually we've done a lot of yo-yo dieting. We've started something that was not sustainable. We lost the weight. We'll go through a few of those, that I've done. And then you bring it back and you're like, you think in your mind that you lost the weight and so that helped, and then you brought it back and you were at the same level that you were when you started losing the weight. But the fact of the matter is that it's really bad for you. um, just someone, I was talking to someone about their type 2 diabetes and they were talking about going on this crazy diet, and I was like, oh, okay. I said, but have you done this before? Yeah. Well, what happened? Oh, as soon as I quit doing this, I immediately went back to where I was or higher. I'm like, oh, so, and I was like, I wonder if that's bad for your diabetes. Like, well, I don't know. This person is a type 2 diabetic. So I was like, well, I'll do a little research. I won't call your name out, but I mean, you may end up in a podcast, which they were like, okay, let me know when it's out. Negative effects of yo-yo dieting. And this is just yo-yo dieting in general, right? And we've probably heard this before. I hope you have. I have. I knew that losing a bunch of weight and then gaining it back is, and actors have talked about this for years. It's really bad. In fact, was it Tom Hanks that thinks that the yo-yo dieting might have been a cause of him being a type 2 diabetic. Don't quote me on that, but I believe I read that. Negative effects, it can lead to increased body fat percentages and muscle loss. When you diet, you can lose muscle. And then when you come back, the restrictive diet, whatever you're on, whether it's a low carb thing, whether it's a carnivore thing, whether it's I'm going to eat nothing but grapefruits, whatever diet you're doing, when it comes back, sometimes you put the fat back on, but it's in a different proportion. It's higher than when you started before because you had muscle before, but you're certainly going to lose some muscle doing some of these crazy diets. So that's a bad thing. Heart disease, metabolic issues, causes mental stress and discouragement. There's nothing worse than being dead set on a diet, right? And you're like, okay, I'm doing this. Like, I'm in. I found the golden key. Like, I can't believe not everyone's doing this because it works so well and it's perfect and everything. And then, 3, 6, 8 weeks, whatever time you make it, right? And then you give up on it. You go back to doing what you were doing before. And it's very obvious because, you put the weight back on, and then everyone that you were telling about this amazing thing, they're like, hey, how's that going? And they know how it's going because they can see how it's going. And you have to be like, yeah, I fell off the wagon. I haven't been as strict lately or whatever. Right. And that's a bummer. Right. When you let your family and friends know that you're going to be doing something, especially with a diet, or if you got type 2 diabetes and you're like, hey, I'm doing this and this is going to be amazing. And then they catch you eating candy or whatever. We get back to the shame thing, right? It can be stressful and very discouraging. Um, Healthy alternative, focus on sustainable lifestyle changes. This is instead of with yo-yo dieting, balanced diet, regular exercise, mindful eating habits, avoid extreme dieting for long-term health benefits. Okay, that's yo-yo dieting. That's for everybody. That's for if you accidentally clicked on this about yo-yo dieting and had no idea that because it's the title of the podcast is from Seamus Has Diabetes, that it wasn't a diabetes thing, right? That's just yo-yo dieting in general is bad for you. We all know this, or at least if you didn't, you do now. But why is it bad for diabetics, right? Yo-yo dieting increases insulin resistance. Repeated cycles of weight loss and gain can make the body less responsive to insulin, which makes your insulin resistance worse. Let's go back to what insulin resistance is, right? Insulin resistance is your body's inability to take blood sugar, which is natural glucose going through your body, and put it into cells where it's supposed to go. When you're insulin resistance, it can't get into the cells. It runs throughout the body. That's why you got high blood sugar. That's why you got a high A1C, and that's why you got type 2 diabetes. Okay. But that weight loss and gain can make it harder for your cells to adjust to that, right? Because you're putting a bunch of fat into them, then you're taking it out, and you're putting it in and basically confusing everything. Disrupts blood sugar management. Drastic changes in diet can cause blood sugar levels to fluctuate, making diabetes harder to control. If you're eating a diet for months or years or whatever, right? That's really high carb, right? Like you're having Pop-Tarts for breakfast and you're having French fries and a carb heavy sandwich. Anyway, you're eating a whole bunch of different carbs. And then you're like, one day you go, you know what? Body, I'm no offense, but you're not going to get carbs anymore. Your body is going to not know what the heck to do. I did this when I first got type 2 diabetes, right? I went to a low carb thing and I felt like garbage for weeks and weeks and weeks. Did it work? Yes. When I started putting carbs back in, did I feel better as a person with my body? Yes. But it disrupts your blood sugar management. It throws your body into a tizzy, and then add medication to it too, and you're really messed up. Impairs beta cell function. Research suggests yo-yo dieting can lead to dysfunction in pancreatic beta cells, which are responsible for something very important in our bodies, which is insulin production. These are your pancreas. You should thank it every day because it's still producing insulin, right? And it's taking that insulin and it's taking your blood sugar and putting it where it needs to be. It's putting it in your brain and putting it in your cells and everything. But the yo-yo dieting can impair that and lead to even more insulin resistance or having to take insulin at some point down the road if you're a type 2 diabetic. And it increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So the yo-yo dieting, because of the insulin resistance, go back to point number one, right? Increases insulin resistance. Well, when you have increased insulin resistance, your chances of getting type 2 diabetes is certainly higher. So, but give yourself a break just for a second, right? Because why are you going on a diet? You're going on a diet to improve yourself, right? Because you're not happy with how things are going. And so you're overweight and your doctor's like, your A1C is 6.4. It was 6.0 last time. You're going in the wrong direction. You're a type 2 diabetic. If you get above 7, all of these bad things are going to happen. And you're like, what do I do? Well, you go on a diet, right? And you have the willpower and you want to go on a diet. It's just building that diet that you can stay on and changing and adding in exercise and all that kind of stuff. But give yourself a break, right? We've all done it because we want to look good, we want to feel good, and we know that the obesity is going to come back and bite us in the butt at some point, right? All right. So, what are some suggestions instead of the yo-yo dieting, right? Maintain a stable, healthy weight through a sustainable lifestyle changes rather than extreme dieting can help manage and prevent type 2 diabetes. Be consistent. There's no magic pill. There's Ozempic. Yeah, those GLP-1s, they certainly make you lose weight because they trick your body into thinking you're full and they trick your pancreas into creating more insulin. And if you can afford and think that you have the ability to stay on it for the rest of your life, then okay, we don't have the research. We don't know what we're dealing with yet, right? But being very consistent, small changes, but consistent changes over the long term is going to be better for you than just coming in and being like, I will never eat a carb again. Good luck keeping that up, man. I mean, that's tough. Breaking the cycle of yo-yo dieting, especially when managing type 2 diabetes, requires sustainable long-term approach, right? Not, I'm going to try this for 3 weeks. It's, I'm going to develop and research and watch my blood sugar and figure out what works for me. And then I'm going to find this window of success and I'm going to stay with it, right? For me personally, like working out 12 times a week, I know that sounds like a lot. It's not, but working out 12 times a week is really good for me. Intermittent fasting, not eating for 16 hours a day gives my pancreas a rest, and it really works out for me. Eating a whole food, plant-based diet that's low in fat really works out for me, right? So these are my parameters. Those are my parameters. Do I paint the lines? Absolutely. I had some peanuts this week. Oh no, it's okay. But you know, finding that what is the norm and where do I want to be, and then now and then you get off track a little bit, but not giving up for like 3 months. I could be type 2 diabetic again in 3 months if I really tried. I know I could. I could. If I just went back to eating and not working out and little Debbie's and all that kind of fun stuff that got me to where I'm at, I bet you 3 months from now, my A1C would be, I bet you I could get it up to at least in the nines. So it doesn't take long. So I paint the edges and I get right back on, right? Here's some points, focus on nutrient rich foods, whole foods, real food that comes from nature, right? It's not in a bar. It's not in a powder, right? It's food. Bananas are food, right? Beans are food. This one suggests lean proteins. Okay. I'm not going to tell you have to be a vegan in order to succeed. You can have chicken breasts. You can have lean proteins, not fatty fish. Whole grains are great. Do you like whole grains? I do. Quinoa, farro. There's a whole bunch of them out there. Healthy fats. Okay. I don't do fat, but some people can, and that's fine. And fiber-rich vegetables. Man, it should be in reverse order. Fiber-rich vegetables should be number one. And they don't really talk about fruits in here, which is kind of interesting, but I'm a big fruit person. I have to have the right fruit, though. Strawberries, stuff like that are really good. Avoid extreme calorie restriction. Listen, you're going to eat. If your diet is like, I'm never going to eat again, that you just can't do that. Even with intermittent fasting, some people are like, I'm going to do a 24 hours once a week. I'm not going to eat, or I'm only going to eat one meal a day. Those type of things are really, really, really tough to keep up because your body needs fuel. So extreme calorie restriction, really, really rigid, crazy things like that tend to lead to binge eating later. When you come off of those, you come off hard, right? So maybe you starved yourself for 3 weeks and then you're like, well, I'm going to get off of this for a minute. I'll get back to it, but I'm going to eat like an idiot again for 3 months. That's bad. And monitor your carbohydrate intake. And listen, not all carbs are made the same. Bad carbs are bad carbs. Refined carbs, you know them, right? Sugar, there you go. White bread, yeah. White rice, to a certain, you can have some of that, but you just gotta be careful with the really bad carbs, right? Little Debbie is not your friend. Not a sponsor. No offense, Little Debbie, but that's gonna send you. Those are not real carbs. Real carbs are bananas, and real carbs are whole grains and brown rice and things like that. Make gradual, sustainable changes. That's awesome advice, right? You're not gonna fix this in a week, right? You're not going to fix it in 2 weeks, or even it might take you a full year. If it were me setting a schedule for someone's sitting in front of me and they're like, how do I reverse my diabetes? I'm like, will you give me 12 months? I have to do this for 12 months? No, you have to do it for the rest of your life. But will you give me 12 months to help you get to it? Because we're going to go in stages and it's going to take us 12 months to get you to where you need to be. If they say, well, I got a wedding coming up, I'm like, nah, you just go on a diet then, because you're not interested. 12, it's gradual, sustainable changes, right? Not short term. I'm going to lose a whole bunch of weight by the end of summer. Talking about consistent adjustments. And when you make an adjustment, and this happens in all sorts of industries, but in when you're monitoring your blood sugar, right? That's why you have to make a change and then see what happens, right? So you're going to start working out 5 days a week at lunch. Awesome. Do it for 2 weeks. Keep track of your blood sugar. Did it make a difference? Yeah. Okay. Now you're going to work out. You're going to walk in the morning before work, right? You're going to do 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes or whatever before work and see if that helps. So then you do that. You add that in, right? See what I'm doing? You add that in and you keep track of your blood sugar and you see, did it make a difference? And then food wise, right? You start adjusting things. That's why I didn't do intermittent fasting for so long. I had changed so many different things. I was like, I got to set in and do this for like 3 months. And I used my A1C test as a, I had a constant glucose monitor, but my A1C tests were the real, like, okay, is this really working? So kept doing that. Strength training, awesome. Muscles burn carbs. Muscles help get rid of excess blood sugar. No doubt about it. Walking after every meal gets rid of excess blood sugar. 100%. Choose activities that you enjoy. If you like dancing, you're burning carbs. If you like hiking, you're burning carbs. Swimming, absolutely. Running, that's what I like to do, right? I do that 3 days a week. I play disc golf 3 days a week. I walk all the time. Managing stress and sleep. I think this is the hardest one. I'll probably do 20 podcasts just on this stupid subject because I think this is the hardest one. Deciding what you're going to put in your mouth is one thing. Deciding how much stress from other factors in your life are going to and how they're going to affect you is way harder than not eating a cupcake, right? High stress levels can lead to emotional eating. Bam, me. That was me. Still does. Still does, right? And blood sugar fluctuations come from that. Bad day, I'm just going to do something for me, which is going to go buy some Little Debbie's and a bag of chips and whatever else I felt like shoving down my gullet. Boston baked beans. You remember those little candies, the peanuts and their hard shell, the Boston baked beans candies? I could eat ridiculous amounts of those. But most of it came from stress. I had a bad week, or if I had a good week, yeah. Quality sleep, man. Do I suck at sleeping? God, I suck at sleeping. But it affects your hunger hormones, insulin resistance. It just is not good for you. Meditation, journaling, deep breathing exercises. I have not figured it out. I'm not going to lie to you at all. I haven't figured it out. I want to. I hope to. If I get a breakthrough on that, I'll do I'm going to do podcasts on it. But sleep, God, so hard. If you haven't figured it out, good for you. But I do not. But it is a huge factor. Track your progress and stay motivated. The motivation, having the continuous glucose monitor, I always call it a constant glucose monitor. That's not what it is. It's a continuous glucose monitor. Anyway, CGM. It shows how food and habits impact your blood sugar in real time, right? 100% accountability. Not every 3 months when you're getting an A1C. Real time, all the time. You can just pick up your phone and look at it and go, oh, this is not good. I shouldn't have eaten that. Or I need to start working out more. It's there for you. I'm a huge fan of them. I know it's an expense, but it could save you. So is it worth the money? I think so. Over counter ones, we're getting them every single day. I don't know when you're watching this or listening to it, but I mean, there could be 50 different products on the market by then. And they're going to get smaller and they're going to get better. And you only have to put one in. And it's going to last for a whole month or whatever. But I'm a huge fan of those. Small victories, whether it's a lower A1C or better energy levels or improved mood. If you feel better, celebrate it. Good for you, right? And keep doing it. Build off of that. It's not 2 weeks. It might be 2 years for some people. It's okay. And avoid all or nothing thinking. One setback does not mean failure. Nope. We all screw up all the time, right? I make mistakes with my diabetes every single week and I get back on them. I make less mistakes than most people, but I make mistakes every single week. I'll eat something I shouldn't have. Last night I had popcorn right before I went to bed. Nope, that's not what I'm supposed to do. Was my blood sugar amazing all night? Nope, because I ate a bunch of popcorn right before I went to bed. You can't do that. But what did I do this morning? I got up. I said, okay, that's my bad. I'm going to go run. I'm going to have a really good diabetes day. I'm going to get lots of activities, and I'm not going to eat popcorn right before I go to bed 2 nights in a row. I won't do that. But the yo-yo dieting, stay away from it. You can't fix it just by not eating carbs for the rest of your life and then getting back on it. But going back and forth is really bad for you. But you can do this. I know you can. I hope your A1C is down. I hope you have an awesome day.